this week. How's it gone?
Really good, yeah. This is our fourth year coming to Coffs Harbour, so the guys really enjoyed getting away. Obviously, we spent a number of days up here and got some good training done, a bit of community work, and it's become a home away for us so far.
How did yesterday go? There was a few areas that the boys were talking about wanting to work on. Talk to me about how that went.
Yeah, pretty good. Obviously, with the weather that's been up here, the field's actually in really good condition. So, yeah, expecting good conditions again tomorrow night. I don't think there's going to be too much weather. So, if there is, you've got to be ready for the conditions and play. We're familiar with the environment, so yeah, we've got to keep consistent on the stuff we've been doing well, and we've got a couple of add-ons we need to work with. Yeah.
It's probably good that it has been raining, so you've been able to train in that conditions. How have the boys adapted to that?
Yeah, well, it's almost like Shark Park. It's like it seems to be whenever we play down there, we've got a southerly wind and some strong rain. So we're kind of used to it. It happens throughout the course of the year, obviously throughout the winter that you get these conditions. So you do become quite adept to understanding what's needed.
Nico has had a bit of a struggle against the Bulldogs. How has he adapted after the time off? Has he had time to reflect on that game?
Yeah, really good. He's had a number of moments there where go back all the way to last year's Origin series. He's gotten better at how to deal with that adversity and how to overcome it, put some strategies in place. But more importantly, it's a lesson. It's going to make him stronger. Have a stronger mental resilience and go through his process and improve if the situation were to arise again, what to do next time.
What's been your message to the group after a few tough weeks? Because it wasn't just the last game, it's been a little bit before that too.
Yeah, I think we weren't really comfortable prior to the bye, the last couple of performances. We had a win in Brisbane. We played all right that night, but there was a couple of performances there which throughout the course of the game, we weren't playing the same footy or defending as well as we were in the weeks previous. And then last week was a really good performance. Obviously, we didn't ice our moments, and throughout the course of the game, discipline really hurt us and gave up field position. But as far as performance goes last week, it was a stronger performance. It was 3 tries to 2, 14-3 in the second half. We're on the wrong end of penalties. A lot of those were our doing. The wrong end of 6 agains. We need to tidy that up. But as for the performance, the effort, and the way you want to play, it was a big step in the right direction for us.
What do you make of the Titans? They've been up and down. They've had a bye. They had a 60-point win the last time they played. Haven't had much luck down here though.
Oh yeah, obviously sometimes new coach, new systems. They've had a number of player changes throughout the course of the year, so they're clearly a capable team. You can't do what they did prior to the bye if you're not a capable team there. So what I do think is we'll be ready for the best version of them, and they need to be ready for us too. So it makes for a good challenge. Yeah.
Do you think about the fact that you guys have had a really good run here? You're undefeated here. Does that come into it? Do you sort of hope that you continue that, or it's just a new game, new week, let's get it done?
We enjoy coming here, but you'd be naive to rely on the fact that we've won here before. I think in the NRL, anyone can beat anyone on any given day if you haven't turned up with the right attitude and mentality. So it's nice to know we're back here and we're familiar with it, but also we've got to perform.
Sellout crowd, night game. Does the night game change things for you guys?
No, not particularly. Throughout the course of the season, of course, there's afternoon games, night games, 6 o'clock games, 8 o'clock games, and you've got to adjust irrespective of what time you're playing. And we've prepared. There's been a host of different times for us to play this year, so it's not too much of an issue really.
And what happens today and tomorrow before the game?
Today, go out to Captain's Run at the stadium. It's an open session, so there should be a lot of members and kids down to see the lads and put a bit back into the community that have hosted us for the last few years and finalise our preparation, and then it's about hanging out and connecting and making sure we're ready to go.
So yesterday was the hard-hitting one. Today's just that sort of let's just ease into it.
Yeah, not much. Yesterday's the bigger session, and today's more about fine-tuning some parts of our game that's going to be important, particularly in the conditions, and it's just as important that we give back to the community that's hosted us too.
Does coming away to Coffs give the boys a chance to sort of refocus and reset a little bit as well?
Yeah, it does. We don't need to reset. We've had a bye. We reset in that time. We put a lot of hard work in, and I thought that showed in our performance last week. But what we do like is when you travel for, sometimes we do quicker trips where it might be an overnight mission and you go quickly. But we like the ones where we come away and spend some time together, have some fun, and get a stronger connection there. And this has been a good one for us.
Can you talk about just how lucky the Coffs trips have been for you in terms of your on-field performance?
Yeah, I think a number of strong performances have happened here, but obviously we don't want to rely on the fact that we've had those here. It's that's in the past now. It's about what's happening tomorrow night. So, but it's an enjoyable place for us to come. It seems to be a good number of support up here, but it's not too far away from the Gold Coast either, so there'll probably be a fair bit of support for them as well.
So Gold Coast, of course, coming off a win. What are your expectations with them?
Their last performance was and a real outlier performance for anyone. I don't think that's the biggest margin of a victory this season. So shows what they're capable of, that we need to be ready for. And they've had a bye, can probably reset and really focus on what worked for them in that game too. So we are really tuning into what we've got to do to make sure it doesn't happen again.
And have your marketing team given you any words around the economic impact of the Cronulla Sharks' visit to this region?
Not so much the economic side of things. It's more about the community engagement. I always think it's good for the NRL to take games to country towns, and I think there's games in Mudgee, Tamworth, obviously here in Coffs Harbour. So I think it's a terrific initiative for clubs to get the games away and obviously keep the grassroots invested, engaged, and keeping eyes on the NRL.
Because a lot of the fans who come are not just Coffs locals, of course they're from the wider region, and I imagine some of your die-hard fans are making the trip up. What do you know about the supporter base from past experiences? Yeah,
that you're right. What happens is you might, like after training today, we'll be talking to some people and they'll throw out a bush town where they've travelled 4 hours just to watch training today and they're staying down overnight for the game. And you do understand the broader reach when you come to these community towns that are obviously a fair way away from the cities that we play in. So there's always a story, and makes you realise what a privilege it is to be part of an NRL club.